YouTube, I'm back. Second day. Probably only one video tonight. Damn. Hairline looks insane, bro. Wow. It really looks bad no matter what I do. We're just gonna leave it. What to talk about today? We'll start off on a positive note. I had a Mexican cola Doritos instead of a passion fruit Doritos. This Dorito was much better. There's a little bit left. That Dorito was that Dorito was much better. Um, I don't know what to talk about, honestly. I don't know. I need to shower. Gonna wake up and do that in the morning though. I got stuff to do tomorrow, which I'm not excited about, but I'm gonna play some ping pong, which I am excited about. Me and a pal of mine found a spot to play ping pong privately, which is humongous, right? Incredible. Sounds like, damn, we got some crazy wind outside. Anyway, incredible. Places we play suck for the most part. So this spot where we can play just the two of us with nobody around to watch or crowd it, because every time we play the place we're at, you can't make a full movement. There's somebody right here, or there's a kid that's running through because he's chasing his ping pong ball, and it's a little upsetting. So I'm really, guys, I'm really excited. Um, I don't know. Let's talk about. Um, I did a self-portrait. I'm bad at drawing myself. I'm an okay artist, I'd say, but I'm bad at drawing myself. I feel like I get my features all messed up, or I make myself look weird, or not even like me. Um, this one was not so bad, except I was doing the hair and I just made it really short, so I have a buzz cut in it. I'm judging if it doesn't look like me at all or not right now. I'm holding it up, you can see it. I mean, it's almost. We'll get to that another time. I'm not ready to show off how I be drawing myself. I'm wearing panties in it, not true. It's just my face. Um, Speaking of hair, I think I want to cut my hair like off. I want like my hair real short. I don't know. I just don't like dealing with my hair in general. And part of me, I guess I've always associated my hair with who I am. So, taking it off, it's like a new start. I'm a new guy in a way. It's kind of dumb and it doesn't actually hold any weight, but for me, it's like a mental trick because I need to change some things, you know? I need a job. I need to be my own person, really. I just got to lock in, I need to get that money. It's not everything, but it is certainly something. I don't know. Um, I think cutting my hair, I'll be living someplace new. I'll have different hair. I just think it's a good way to start anew, you know? Um, I don't know. I don't know how to put stuff on the screen, like in the video. I don't know how to screen record either. So what I might do is I might set up a phone and have a mirror so you can see my face, and then we'll be able to look at stuff on my computer. That's smart for real. I saw that on Instagram. This little kid was doing it while he was streaming. But then I can show off some stuff on my computer, or I can draw on the computer. I draw straight egregious bullshit on the computer though. It's not as good as what I draw with my hands, obviously, because I use a mouse, but it's not even in the same realm of artwork. It's just ridiculous. Someday we'll get to that. Um, I don't know. I really gotta lock in on moving my stuff. I don't have a ton to move, but I just need to get it all out because I have stuff planned for later this month, and it'll be easier if I'm moved out first. Because I'm gonna be out of state and whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to talk about. I think about things throughout the day. And I'm like, I could talk about that, and then I actually think about it. like I'm in front of my computer and I blank. Um, I saw my grandma today. That was nice. I saw both of my grandmas today, actually. One, she's helping us with the move and working on the house, and she's like, I'm not gonna say Hitler. She's like Kim Jong Un or the Chinese guy, one of the Chinese guys. She's just very abrasive about her commands, especially when it comes to home renovation. It's crazy. She's like a dictator. The other one, they're both nice and I love them both. Just one is easier to be around for the most part. She gets me better. So I was around her for a while. Um, then I came home and I helped with the house, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't a super busy day or anything. Mowed the lawn. Mowing the lawn, I hate our lawnmower, but it's therapeutic. We have a Ryobi lawnmower, and I think Ryobi's a scam. I think it should be shut down. Um, my opinions are really strong about Ryobi, but mowing the lawn, even with a terrible lawnmower and terrible batteries that take forever to charge and don't last through one side of the lawn, is therapeutic in its own way. Just listening to some music, you know? I was listening to Kanye West the entire time, actually. I had a playlist of Kanye playing that I didn't make, but I found on Spotify. When you listen to Kanye, when you really listen to his stuff, everything he's saying is sad, bro. It's surprising people didn't think he was going to be crazy sooner, because it just sounds like he hated life in general. After graduation, even through graduation, it's crazy. Just sad ass songs. But I enjoy his work. Him as a guy, polarizing and problematic, but his work mainly enjoyable. You know, some of it is also crazy. World War III, wild song. The worst part, incredible production. It'd be an amazing Kanye song if it wasn't about being a Nazi, because the production is all there. It's just the lyrical content throws you out. Whoa, should not be listening to this. Anyway, it's kind of a crazy topic to get into. I don't know where I'd take it from here. Um, let's think about a question. I've been thinking about what I want to do and where I want to be. I don't have a lot of goals. I'm not very driven. Sounds like my mom's maybe not. Anyway, I don't have a lot of goals. I'm I've never been super driven. I was always a really bad student, that particularly. I used to lie and say I wasn't, but now that I'm out of school, yeah, I was terrible. Um, so in a way, I never learned to uh, push myself mentally, you know. I can function at a baseline for a long time. Like I can be stressed out for a long time and still function. Because school stressed me out. Doing the most work to to succeed in the bare minimum is not the way to do it, and that stressed me out. But you know, Um, but like pushing myself mentally and really planning stuff is not what I'm good at. I just never developed the skill and I need to develop it. Um, you know what? Let's think about some aspirations. Let's talk about aspirations and goals and those things. Um, one thing, probably the biggest thing. So it's gonna take a second to loop back around to where we started, but it'll get there. This is probably gonna be like a 15-minute video, which is a treat. It's a long video. The one thing I think is important is I'm not gonna start with actually we're gonna go around till I get to the thesis here. I think there's like three versions of everybody. Not actually, but there's three perceived versions of everybody, at least. There's how other people think of you, how you think of yourself, and how you want to end up thinking about yourself, right? So if we think about it, think about you. How do you think about yourself? And then think about how your friends would explain how they think about you. And it'll change from person to person. That's the thing. That's why it's not really three ways. That one, how others think of you, can be an infinite possibility. So there might be 400 versions of you and I, or whatever. There's 200 of me based off of the people that be following me and looking at my story on Instagram, you know? But think about yourself and then think about how other people think of you. Probably some differences. For me, there's definitely differences. My perspective later. And then take the version of you. This is a whole punch. And I just threw that out there. It was my great grandpa's. Anyway, think about the version of you that other people perceive. And then think about the version of you that you perceive. Think about the differences, right? And then think about the version of you that you want to be. And that might be a combo of how you want to think about yourself or who you want to become and how you want other people to perceive you. Or it might just be your whole opinion that you would like to be different in some way. And other people might not know, or they might know, and that could also make the whole thing. It could really just be how other people see you, you know? I think it's an interesting thing to think about. Obviously, not everybody will agree with me that that's how stuff works, but that's always how I've thought about it. I've always thought about like the three version rule. Um, I think obviously I don't have a sure idea of how my friends think of me, but personally, I wouldn't say I like hate myself. There's a lot of aspects I don't like. There's a lot of things that I am underwhelmed with in myself or want to be better at. I think everybody's got that. Everybody has some sort of, there's nobody who doesn't deprecate themselves. Maybe they don't say self-deprecating things, but they probably think them. Everybody does that, you know, and that's okay. It's part of the human condition. But there's a lot of aspects about me I don't like. There's a lot of aspects about me that I don't know how to change, or I don't know where to start. I know the end goal, but I don't know where to start. I'd like to be more driven. The only way I can think of that is diving in, you know? Like like one of my aspirations. I'd love to be a really good climber. I got a climbing shirt on right now. I got a B pump shirt on. It's a climbing gym in Japan. Um, I have family who work in the climbing industry and stuff. I would really love to be an incredible climber, you know, but there's so many different kinds of climbing, so settling on one is so hard. I'd love to ice climb and climb mountains. That'd be cool, but also that's it's in the same idea as climbing big wall top rope stuff, but it's also not really the same at all, or lead climbing. Like there's so many different ways. Um, and I'd like to be good at it. I just can't decide what, you know? Um, where was I? How I think about myself. Yeah, but aspirations, stuff like that, driving, like being driven, things like that, you just have to jump in, I feel like. There's no half measure. You give it your best, you know, until you're there or until you're satisfied with the best you've given it, and then you just stay at whatever level you're satisfied with, which that's okay. But like, I guess part of it is I've never been like I'm not necessarily weak or anything, but I've never been great at sports. And climbing is something you can just get good at because you do it a lot and you get strong. It's really strength and technique. You can learn. Climbing's not that hard to learn, you know. It's all the work that goes into actually getting really good. It's hard, but I feel like that's attainable for me. I think it's too late to pick up soccer and get really good at it. I like playing basketball, but what, it's like why even try? I don't enjoy it enough to play it all the time. Ping pong. I love ping pong, but those Chinese kids and apparently European kids start playing at 6 years old. I know I'm not going to get far. I play it for fun, and I play it because I enjoy it. I play it for a little bit more than fun, to be fair. I be grinding on ping pong, but like, you know. Anyway, next topic. Uh, I I don't know. I think about what others think a lot. I don't. I when somebody looks at me, you know, I don't care what they think usually. Like if it's somebody I don't know, I couldn't care less what people think because I don't know you. Your opinion on me doesn't mean anything to me. It holds no weight in my life. And from my perspective, if somebody talks to me about somebody they don't know, their opinion about that person doesn't matter to me either because you don't know them. If I don't know them, who cares what I think? It's just how my mind works, you know? I guess if enough people who don't know me say something, then everybody thinks it, but whatever, you know? But like, I think a lot about people who do know me, like actually know me, and how they perceive me. Um, sorry, there was dust on the keyboard. I know people think I'm lazy. In a lot of ways, I am lazy. There's no, you know, s- walking on nails about it. I'm lazy. I'm not driven. You know, I'm okay with being perceived as usually being lower than people doesn't really put me off. It looks like my mustache becomes part of my mouth. It's just been bugging me. Anyway, like I'm pretty consistent. I'm pretty consistently okay with being at the bottom and doing very little to change it. And I think other people see that. And I don't know if they think lesser of me or not, or if they think that's just how I am, but part of me wants to change that. Because it's not necessarily that I'm a loser, but if I'm undriven and don't care to change it, and I'm perceived that way by everybody, then in a way, yeah, I'm just undriven and I don't care. And it's true because everybody thinks it. Everybody who knows me thinks it. And I talk to friends and stuff and they tell me to give myself grace and whatever, but it's been 18 years, bro. 18 years and I'm here and Osama's son is rich and getting leaked. Like, what am I doing? I don't, not seriously, but I feel like I could be a lot more than I am. I think if I was just more driven, I would have been a lot more than I am now. I think I'm a good enough guy. Like, my issue isn't how I treat others, I don't think. Not for the most part, at least. I try to be well to as many people as I can, but I'm underwhelmed with myself, I guess is the main thing. Like I said in a previous video, I have trouble recognizing my self-worth because a lot of it comes from other people. like how I perceive myself, you know. And I don't know. Another thing is I think of myself as alone a lot. Even when I'm with friends, part of me does not feel like I fit. You know, I love being around my friends. I prefer it to being alone usually. But like I don't know. I always feel like there's like the way I think about things and the way I perceive things, it's just like I don't feel like I fit a lot. And like people will see me, you know. People see the stuff I post on Instagram or probably the shit I post on here at some point. On Instagram, it's probably a little more ridiculous. I get into a lot of ridiculous situations on my Instagram, but it's not trolling. I'm genuine. It's how I am. The stupid stuff I say and the dumb stuff I do and think and the ridiculousness is all me. Like people probably think that's trolling or played up, but no, bruh. It's just me, you know. And I think that's part of it. I feel like I'm a goof no matter what. And I'll talk to my friends and stuff. Part of my thing about friends, I confide in my friends a lot. You know, the things they tell me help me reflect and have a different perspective, especially when I'm having issues. But and everybody's going to think their own thing. But when I'm having an issue or when I'm going through something, sometimes people don't care to censor themselves when they're thinking whatever. Of course, you're going to have your own opinion, but sometimes you have to hold your tongue, you know? Not everybody wants honesty all the time. I'm fine with people being people are honest to me all the time, bruh. I get called broke and bummy and dumb nonstop. Not I can't remember the last time I hung out with friends and that didn't happen, you know? But when it's deeper than that, and yes, that does make me sad sometimes. It's like, damn, I really am just broken a bum, you know? But when it's deeper than that, sometimes I just need somebody to tell me the bare minimum of what they're thinking. I work in a way where if I have two decisions and somebody tells me what they think, usually it helps me worm out what I really think, you know? And people get on me for that all the time. Why would you even ask if you're not going to take into account what I say? I am. I just like I like the other option more coincidentally at this point. I'm sorry, you know. It makes more sense to me. It's my life, you know. But I don't really know how this ties in. It's just with friends, I appreciate the honesty, but sometimes there's too much. Sometimes there's too much trolling. People probably don't think it means anything to tell me I'm a bum and I'm stupid. But sometimes it makes you sad. You know, sometimes you hear it a little bit too much and it's just like, okay, bruh. Yes, I'm stupid and I'm a bum. I know. I live my life every day. I'm aware. Like I don't need a reminder, you know? Anyway, we're gonna move on. The guy I want to be, because I'm perceived differently by a lot of people. Some people probably think I'm a nice guy. Some people probably think I'm self-serving and lazy and dumb. Some people probably think it's a mixture of the two. Like I said, there's an infinite possibility of what people think. I know there's people who don't like me or think I'm disingenuous or whatever. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion about me. But if I don't really know you, I don't really care what you think. Because why should I? Anyway, the person I want to be. And if you're watching this, I want you to ask yourself, you don't have to subscribe to the idea that there's three of you, but I want you to ask at least, who do you want to be? You know, the first one, how you perceive yourself, or how you perceive yourself, how others perceive you, and then who do you want to be? Those two, okay, yeah, I wasn't, I made it, I want to make sure I'm not flipping off the camera. It's my hand, bro, I should know. Those two do not have to come into the equation. You can just think about who you want to be. I guess part of me wants to be successful. not necessarily in other people's eyes. I've never really cared about that, not a lot at least. I do care about being happy with what I've done and being successful on my own terms. Because I think success is not, yes, having money would be good, and it definitely helped me out. Someday I hope to just stumble into a lot of money. I have no idea how I'll ever make any money in my life. But I guess to me, what really makes somebody successful is is like I said, I think a lot about how others perceive me. A successful person to me is usually thought of as a good person. Because if you have a lot of money, you're rich, right? But if everybody thinks you're a good guy or gal or whatever because you treat people well and do right by them and generally just do the stand-up thing or whatever, then I think that's real success, because you've proved that. And doing the right thing isn't always easy. I don't always do the right thing. Nobody does. Nobody ever always does the right thing. That's ridiculous to hold people to that standard. And a lot of people don't consider between the right thing and the wrong thing, there's a litany of other options. And the right thing might just be the least bad, you know? You can, there can still, I think you can still do damage, but trying the option with the most damage control is almost always the best option. You still get the karma points out of that, bro. But I guess I just, in my mind, the guy I want to be is not necessarily super financially successful. Money would be nice, but I want to be happy with myself and I want to be amongst people who respect me and people who I respect, people who understand me and people who I understand, you know? I feel like a lot of people, even my friends and my own family, I feel like a lot of them don't really get me. I feel like a lot of people have a basic idea or somewhat deeper idea than others, but my mom, like, you know me, but do you get me? Do you know how I think and how I process things and da 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 da? I'll bring stuff up to her, things that are a big deal to me, things I think about that are affecting me a lot. I'll be like, yeah, this happened, and then later I'm like, I keep thinking about it. She's like, well, I didn't think you'd think about it. I'm a person, bruh. Like, believe it or not, things rattle around here, you know, or I get upset. I'm pretty lax in general. I'm not usually actually mad about stuff. Sometimes I get irritated, but usually I'm not mad. But like any other normal person, I get irritated. My threshold of where I'm not irritated to where I am irritated is just there's a lot more of not irritated till the point where it is irritated. And I think some people just perceive it as I never get irritated. So I want people to understand how I am. And that just comes from knowing people, really, and not being scared to display who you are. And that's why I'm doing this because, like I said, if you don't know me and you think about who I am, it doesn't really matter what you think to me. I appreciate that I'm in your thoughts, I guess, but what weight does your opinion hold? But the people who know me, I want them to understand me. And I want to be a hard worker. I can work hard. A lot of people, or a lot of times, I feel like I can't work hard, and I think other people think I can't work hard, but I can. It just has to be something I want to do. And to me, if it's something you don't want to do, you shouldn't have to try very much. Everybody should be able to do the things they want to do. And yes, some things need doing, but something that needs done does not always need it done to the 100% threshold, especially when it's some shit you don't want to do. Mowing the lawn, I don't like doing it with that Ryobi. I did it. Is the lawn as short as it could be? Hell no. But I still did it, you know? But that opposed to I don't know, let's say I really want to fix the sink. That sink's getting done good as hell because I really want to do it, and a lot of people will say that's self-serving. But to me, it's just like you can do the same shit and I won't be upset at you because it's what I do. Maybe I will get upset sometimes. We're all hypocrites. But then you just tell me the same shit. That's how you think. I can do it too. And it just makes sense to me, you know? Anyway, the guy I want to be, I want to have success in my own way. I want to be understood. I want to be able to understand others. And I want to be in the company of people that I respect and people that respect me and people I love. That's the main thing. I want real connection with the people around me. And I have that. I have great friends who I'd consider almost siblings to me. I have no siblings. I don't know what real siblinghood or whatever is like. So the closest I get is my super close friends, but it's almost the same to me because I'll never really know what it's like. I lost my train of thought. Um, Trying to think. Yeah, I want to be known. A lot of people know me, but like I said, I feel like I also don't understand a lot of people. Some of my best friends, I know you, but the things you do and the things you say, and one guy in particular, the way you don't respond to my text messages, I'm never going to understand. I'm going to do my best, but I don't know if I ever actually will. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with people giving the effort, at least. If we're not always on the same wavelength, that's fine as long as you try, you know? Okay, wait, we got an Instagram notification. We're going to see who it is. Okay, Brad, it's about who I thought it was going to be. One of my buddies. Um, and the thing is, you never have to stop. At least in my mind, I'll probably never stop working or or aspiring to be the guy I want to be because it's a goal through your whole existence. It's not just a lifelong goal. It's a goal that everything you do attributes to in one way or another. There's little things that don't mean shit. If I drink a Pepsi, obviously that's not going to do it. Or if I eat a hamburger, I guess if you're vegan and I shouldn't be eating burgers in front of you, and then you say, this dude sucks, he was my friend, but he eat burger, that's a little different. But still, I'm going to say you're being ridiculous. Anyway, it's a goal you can work towards forever. And if you become the guy you want, or the girl you want, or whatever, then it's just like, keep it up. Or, I don't know, you're already at level 100, I guess, just grind to the end game. Shit. Climb K2 or something like that. You know? Yeah, I guess that's it. Final statement, climb K2.